Okay, everybody, let's talk about equipment for live streaming. So we're going to do a brief overview here. Some of you may know more about this and be able to skip this part, but I want beginners to kind of get a basic overview of the parts and pieces that are included in live streaming systems. So first of all, this is the ultimate guide to live streaming. I'm going to put a link to this below, and you'll be able to learn quite a bit about live streaming. It goes over, for example, the live streaming industry, you know, how we got to where we are today. Kind of gives you an idea of like YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, Instagram. And I should just show this to you really quickly. This is, again, another look at what we were looking at in the last course. Here are those easy to use live streaming software versus the kind of the harder softwares. And you usually have a slow beginning, but then you have steep acceleration where you start learning something and you feel great. You know, you're getting to know the software, you're using it really well, and that just gives you an idea of how it does take time to learn this stuff, and you don't want to start over with a different piece of software. So let's talk about the necessities, the hardware pieces that we need. So there's microphones, and you know, one of the things everyone says is that audio is more important than video. Most churches have already invested in a huge audio board, microphones, so that they can record the choir, record a lot of different things, and maybe amplify the choir. And so you've probably got some type of audio setup. So in this course, we're going to assume you have a mixing board, you've got microphones for the choir, you've got a microphone to hand to the pastor. Headset microphones are really, really high quality. That's what I'm using now. And then you can take all of those microphones, whether they're handhelds or lapels or a headset, and you can bring them into your audio mixer. Some of the older audio mixers do not have a USB output. You may or may not need a USB output, but if you're using a Mac or a PC to do your live streaming, you need a way to bring in the audio into that computer and then live stream it. And that would be true for OBS, XSplit, Wirecast, or vMix. The TriCasters have their own audio interfaces built in. So you can see here that this is an audio interface, so if you don't have USB on your mixing board, you can plug in, you can take an output from your mixing board into this and plug it right in. Virtual audio cables are something that we'll talk about briefly in like the advanced section of this course, which allow you to take a virtual audio cable and it's used for like bringing in remote participants from a video conference call into your live video, and you can then stream it. And we'll go into that further in the kind of the more advanced sections here. Now, frame grabbers are something that I used on a daily basis, and what it does is it takes a digital video, whether it's HDMI or HD-SDI, and it converts it to USB. So what happens if you want to plug a laptop with a PowerPoint presentation into the computer that's live streaming? Well, you take the HDMI out of the laptop and you plug it in USB to your computer, and then you can bring it into OBS, Wirecast, XSplit, or vMix. These can also be used for a lot of different things, but that's the main reason is taking a digital video output, whether it's an HDMI, like I said, or HD-SDI, and converting it to USB. Now, PCIe cards, these are cards that people put into custom PCs. You build a custom PC, it's a great way to save a lot of money creating a high-powered video switcher or streaming system. You buy a tower PC with a PCIe slot, and you can put this in, and it basically is 4 frame grabbers in one. So this is a Magewell card. It has 4 HDMI ports, and we can plug 4 HDMI cameras directly into it and live stream them, and they'll be available in Wirecast, vMix, or XSplit. Video extenders. So video extenders allow you to extend HDMI, and this is really important for churches. A lot of churches have overflow rooms, so they have a television in the lobby, or they have a television somewhere in the church, and they want to display what's going on in the main church in the lobby, or in the nursery, or in different places. What you need to do is you need to extend a video input all the way over to that television. There's HDMI extenders, there's HD-SDI extenders, there's all kinds of extenders. There's even extenders that can power cameras. and we'll talk a little bit about PoE later in the course. Now let's talk about different cameras. So document cameras are really nice. You could take a document camera, put it next to your live streaming laptop, and have the Bible open to the page, or you could show the course. I don't know if you noticed when I had the checklist in the very second video, that was some footage from a document camera. Static cameras are really nice for places that do not need pan tilt zoom. And we'll kind of talk about the difference here. So pan tilt zoom allows you to have 1 or 2 cameras out there in the field that you can get 100 different views from. It's really powerful. You can have a joystick, you can control it, you can add movement, really make it look like a professional production. The static cameras allow you to have a single camera right on a speaker at a podium or a space that you just always can go back to. So that's the difference there. And then the last thing we'll talk about are control options here. So we have a control option for software. So you can have software. This is a Windows only software that allows you to click a button and literally, here, let me just make this large for a second. You literally click where you want the camera to go and it just goes there. So for volunteers, it's amazing. Really advanced software. Then we have intuitive joystick controllers. Just a joystick, you can move it up and down, left and right, and have the camera go wherever you want. This is an IP joystick. So there's 2 different types of joysticks. One can go over the network, and one is a hardwired RS-232 connection. There's more information on the PTZOptics camera course, which is free on Udemy, where you can learn how to set these up and use them. But that's the basics. So there's more things. There's encoders, there's streamers. We're not going to go over everything right now, but that's the basics for live streaming hardware. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helped. And our next video is going to be all about working with volunteers and how to make the live streaming system that you end up with easy for volunteers to go ahead and walk into and use.
Click to watch another exciting PTZOptics video, and don't forget to subscribe. Tune in Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern to join our live show with new industry experts interviewed every week.